Hello everybody! Today we're going to talk about Bethesda's 2023 plans including Redfall, Starfield and Fallout. And in no particular order, Redfall. Now Redfall's done by, I think it's Arcane Studios, is it? People that did Dishonored. Dishonored is a really good game, but it's only about 16 hours long and they were charging 50 quid for it, which I thought was a bit cheeky. So I waited until it went on sale before I brought it. But they did a really good job on that game. That was a real work of art. That wasn't just a game, that was a work of art. And it raised my expectations of the studio quite considerably. Now, if you look at Redfall, vampire hunting on an island with a team that have special skills and upgrades, which look outstanding, right out there. There's some original thinking gone into this one. And you start thinking, this is going to be just like Dishonored. It's going to be that kind of level above everything else we see. So we could be looking at, another Deus Ex. I mean, it's not going to be like Deus Ex, but Deus Ex had that kind of impact when it was first released. It'd be like that, except for vampires and magic and things. This is or Dishonored, that kind of impact. There's usually very, very few games like Deus Ex, the original, so it's like Dishonored, that come along. And when they do, you've really got to just grab them both hands and just go for it and enjoy it. Because they are rare. They are very rare. Everybody else seems to make the same old. And you do, I've done this before 1,000 times. This is like the latest in a long line of, Call of Duty game type things. And then you think, well, Call of Duty itself was a clone of a dozen other games before it. And then you get Dishonored. And then you get Deus Ex. Now, don't forget, consoles have an awful lot of these story-driven games. But the gameplay isn't there. It's movie or games to them. They usually err on the side of movies. Really bad controls with really good movies. But, I loved that movie. I mean, game. But, Arcane Studios, it says, they now to make the gameplay work in a story environment. The story in the game is the same thing. It's a difficult trick to pull off. You've got to really take your hats off to them. Because every time they do it, they're making a really immersive game that will just grab you. At least as good as Skyrim, in my opinion, in game design. Right, so because that's a difficult thing to pull off. Even Bethesda don't always do a good job on the storytelling, and it certainly sometimes distracts from the gameplay when you're having cut scenes all the time and endless dialogue. But they do manage to make it work. So I'm looking forward to Redfall. I think it'll be a good game. Now, Fallout, the anniversary edition, is also due out this year. Now, you think about Fallout 4. It wasn't as popular as Skyrim. I didn't mod it because I hated the dialogue system. It was just long-winded, and I thought, I've got better things to do in my life, like walking a goldfish, than messing about with that piece of... Even Todd Howard said it wasn't good. It didn't work out as well as he hoped. So I'm kind of hoping that's died with Fallout 4. But anyhow, the anniversary edition, I think, is an excuse to update it for the next generation of consoles, which should mean improvements in graphics for the consoles at least. Hopefully for us as well. It's an older game now. And people always assume that the creation engine can't handle better graphics, but it can. Bethesda deliberately toned things down so it'll work on all systems. I've said this before in game engine videos, and I'll be saying it again later this week in a video that I've already recorded and uploaded. But it's quite capable of having the graphics upgraded and still run perfectly fine. It's not an issue for it. So the anniversary edition, I think, would be more about that than anything else. I don't think they'll throw in a load of Creation Club stuff. So you get Creation Club content like you did with Skyrim. Trouble is, Skyrim gets an awful lot of love from modders, where Fallout gets a lot less love from modders. Now, if you go through the actual game, you've got synths and the university, right? Who cares? It was a really boring plot to start off with. It didn't grab anybody. So you don't see people doing synth skins very often, do you? And if they did, who would download them? Who would care? Right? And then you've got armor mods. There is no decent armor in the game. What's the point, you're basically getting 300 or 400 different T-shirts with different comics on it, and that's usually it. Again, who cares? It's not going to grab anybody. The things that you do get though, and it's always got lots of love, are the Brotherhood of Steel. I mean, I've made skins for Power Armor myself back in Fallout 3 days. I did cameo skins for my Fallout Foundation mod for Fallout 3. You don't see, it's a massive mod it was for Fallout 3, but you don't see it anymore because the nav mesh broke in that game and we didn't know. I just wondered why all the NPCs kept disappearing after a short time. And when we found out, there was no way I could fix it. Bethesda didn't fix it, so the mod just got left because Fallout 3 still has the nav mesh bug. But anyhow, that was a really good mod. And I made loads of skins for Power Armor, and some of them cameo skins and different upgrades and whatnot, and it was really good. But anyhow, the Foundation mod would have fitted really well with Fallout 4, and I was thinking of doing it, but I really hated the dialogue system, in Fallout 4, so I didn't touch it. Even Todd Howard admitted, that the dialogue system wasn't as good as he'd hoped. So, but anyhow, I think it would be a case of the Brotherhood of Steel and the settler system where most of the Creation Club content would have to come from. Pardon me. Because the Fallout 4 game itself, settlement systems and the Brotherhood of Steel are the two big draws. I don't always play the Brotherhood of Steel. In fact, I very rarely play the Brotherhood of Steel. But the Minutemen aren't really that much of people don't really talk about it. They don't talk about the Railroad either. They might play it a lot, but it's really a bit monotonous, routine, generic, and that's basically Fallout 4 all over. So if they wanted to change something, making it less generic might be a good start. Now, once you get to Far Harbor, that ends. It starts becoming interesting again. Far Harbor, other than the computer bit where you dive into the AI's mind, which I hated that bit, but it's a really good DLC, and it beats the pants out of the default game. Now, if you look at, say, Nuka World, that's a nice idea, but it doesn't work even if you do follow the raider path. It's not really well scripted. It tends to lose itself. Big grand plan and then gets lost at the end. And even if you kill everything off, it still gets lost at the end. So you basically kill all the raiders, you might as well leave. As simple as that. But it is a good idea, and individual parts of it are actually quite good, and the exploring part's actually quite good as well. So there are potential things for Far Harbor and Nuka World. But again, like I said, Fallout doesn't get that much love from from modders, not compared to Skyrim and things like that. So I think it'll be a graphics update with maybe a few freebie mods thrown in, or maybe a few you had to pay for as part of the anniversary pack. I'm not expecting great things though. I don't think it'll make that many waves. But getting the upgrade alone might improve things, to be honest. It means updated graphics for the consoles. Hopefully it'll be updated graphics for the PC, maybe 4K graphics. I think someone's already mentioned something along them lines, but I can't remember who it was that said it. But anyhow, fingers crossed. Now, if you're looking at and this is the one you've been waiting for, Starfield, rumour is it's still on course for a release in the first half of 2023. However, right, they normally need at least 4 months lead time up to release. So if it's going to be released in the first half of 2023, sometime in the next 2 months, we should expect to hear something about it. We should be realistically being told the final date before the end of February. Otherwise, it's not happening at the beginning of the first half of this year. It'll be in the second half of this year. That's my take on it. I think the marketing update for Steam gives us an idea, this is for Skyrim, gives us an idea that Steam will probably be the platform of choice for modding and stuff for Starfield when it eventually comes out. I'm guessing they'd work on that after the game's release and probably test drive it with Skyrim initially. So, yeah. But I think at this present moment in time, though, we need to be watching out for more news from Starfield, because you'll get a steady stream of news appearing right before they start announcing big things like release dates or just about the same time, and we aren't seeing that right now. So I'm not sure that we will get it in the first half at all. I don't think we'll see it in the first half of 2023 unless they start, the news in mid-January or February. But anyway, fingers crossed, right, that what they say is actually going to happen. We will see it in the first half of 2023 because we all want to see it, but we don't want it to be buggy because it ruins the experience, doesn't it? First time you're playing through a game, that's the most important time. And if it's also the time when it's the most buggy, then you've basically shot yourself in the foot buying it early. So yeah, but if it is going to be first half of 2023, I would realistically expect modding support to be there probably either within the first 6 months or 2024. Probably 2024 to be honest, because they'll be working over things for the game first. They'll have a few DLCs planned, for example, and they'll want to get them announced and queued up in production before they start messing about with editors for us. But I do think that 2023 either way should be a really good year. Should be a good year. Much better than 2022. Because let's face it, 2022 was the way it was because the previous year was a COVID year. That did tend to limit what people could do with the work that people could do on games. So 2022, unlike 2021, which was a COVID year, it's been a year of production, not releases. And 2023 should be a year of releases. So yeah, fingers crossed. So anyhow, I'll see you in the next one, and let me know what you think, because all we can do right now is just speculate. But it is interesting sometimes to see what people come up with. So I'll see you in the next one, and see you with Starfield hopefully soon.